What is going on, YouTube? We're finally back for another video. So as you guys know, the last video was week 4 SBD. We didn't exactly live up to the standard that we had set out for ourselves at the beginning of the block, but honestly, at the end of the day, the fact that we were able to make it through all 4 primary SBDs without having any flare-ups, I'm not going to say pain-free 100%, but we got some quality work in that will allow us to continue to raise a baseline in this block. It was a success. So with that being said, today is going to look a little different, and I know I've said that probably the last 4 videos, but we're going to be bench pressing in the garage today, purely for the fact that I really don't feel like going to the gym and having to set up my mats, pull my bench from the back room, go grab my bar, like just a lot of setup that makes the session take longer than it needs to. So we're going to be benching in here today, and then we'll go right over to the gym. It's like a mile and a half away from my house, and we'll get right back into squatting there. But initially, warming up with 10 minutes on the bike, just trying to get the hips loosened up, getting the body, the heart rate up a little bit, just getting it prepared for the workload that we have in front of us today. But very excited. At the end of the day, I talked to my coach and said, honestly, we don't have prep. We don't have meet lined up for the rest of the year. And honestly, I don't think I'm in the shape to be able to compete the rest of the year. I want to take a very long off season, probably go down a weight class, do the best I possibly can to get some better body composition and build a total and a physique that I am more happy with in general. And truth be told, I don't think going down a weight class is going to affect my top end strength very much. If anything, it's going to give me the ability to be able to perform at top end potentially more often, more efficiently. I think recovery across the board and work capacity at the end of the day. So I think net positive for pretty much everything. At the end of the day, most powerlifters nowadays probably sit in the body fat percentages of like 12 to 20-ish%. A little bit higher than that, walking around about 23%. So I'd like to get back out into the teens and just actually see what there's like. I want to see the amount of muscle that I've put on during this time walking around at a light 120. Basically walking around about 110, 115. The final warm-up moved really, really well. Now, could I absolutely take 374 or 380 and probably not even notice a difference? Absolutely, but I don't really feel I need to. Something's still a little off about my left arm. I'm still getting a little bit of pain through the forearm when I rack the weight as soon as I remove the load from that side. So I don't need to take more. I'm not going to. Even though this shows, based off the velocity data alone, that I'm in a much better position today than I was on the week 4 of last block. So I could, but again, as I said, I will not. I do wish, I need to figure something out for lighting though, because these lights are just too far behind the combo rack that sometimes you're not getting very good lighting from the position I place the camera for recording these sets. There's always a shadow on that side, so I need to figure that out. I need to get some type of lighting in front of me in some near future. But let's load 374 and make this shit fly. There's something nice about doing this all in your own garage. You can blare music on a speaker, sit in a folding chair, and just chill. But I'm very happy with how the top set moved. We had 374 loaded up. I will say when I unrack it, I think it's related to whatever's going on this side. I was just rattling. I just could not for the life of me get control. And although you can't tell on video, it I really did notice it. Which is, I can't say I've experienced anything like that in a very, very long time. Although it moved very well. Like strength-wise, exceptional, honestly. I could have taken 380 without a problem. But honestly, it doesn't matter. We moved it fantastically, and we're just setting up the next week. So I just don't want to have a repeat of last block where we started a little too heavy and didn't really have a lot of room to run. I mean, honestly, I think we did 374 or 369. And, week 3 we took 396 for us to take that exact same week on week 4. To be fair, variables weren't exactly the best for the last block. Also, I had tweaked my shoulder pretty badly on the secondary bench on week 3 leading into week 4. So that definitely affected our ability to perform on week 4. But those are like the things where I'm like, I wasn't really emotionally attached to last week. Yes, did I want it to go better than it did? Absolutely, but it is what it is. There's sometimes you're just not going to be on, and it's okay. I think we're still at, like, the baseline still remains in the 400s, even though we're down a good amount of body weight, which is what I'm trying to maintain, honestly, because we haven't, I will say that was probably the first time that we've benched below 400 pounds in, I think, the entirety of the last 2 years on a week 4, but it's not weighing on my mind like that, you know? And it's like that was an outlier and the negative side, so it's not like that's not my baseline, you know what I mean? If anything, we performed below my baseline that day. So with that being said, I'm really not concerned. Back downs wise, I think we're loading 303 or something today. I also have to make a quick video because somebody made a dumb comment on TikTok, and I'm gonna respond to it. So be prepared for that. I'm not sure if I'll record on the video or not, but basically, I had done a 319 Larson single because everybody talks about how the arch of the bench is like completely cheating. So I'm like, okay, let me do this. I'll remove my legs from the equation and still make over 3 plates fly. Apparently that wasn't good enough for those people on the internet. So today we're gonna load 319 and I'm gonna do it with my legs up and crossed. Honestly, the point of that video or that response was just to go say that, truth be told, regardless of the position you put me in, I am strong in the bench press. So if you make my arch a little less, take away my leg drive, I can still probably bench over 400 pounds. So it's not a cockiness, it's not this, that, or the other. It's just those are all little points that allow me to be more efficient in the bench press. So yeah, it's adding the 1 to 2% on the top end, but I mean, does that really matter that much? The strength is there regardless. So that was the whole point of the response to that. And I'll likely, make sure I give a direct response in the comment or in the caption at least, because I feel that people are still going to try to take this message the wrong way. Well, as many times as I've said it, I feel like I'm announcing a relapse. Sadly, we took the back like a couple warm-ups into doing some box squats. I decided to call the rest of the session, so in place of it, I just went up and did some quad extension hamstring curls. But that's going to be all for today. So I do apologize. It's going to be an incredibly short video because all you're basically going to see is like a warm-up, a top set, and a back down, a bench with a dumb single in between those. But I'm doing what I can. Obviously, I don't feel that I can trust my judgment because, day to day, I'm in significantly less pain than I was during prep. I'm able to do, most basic shit without much of a worry. But squat is just my kryptonite right now. So I think me and my coach are going to try to adjust a new plan for this block and potentially for the next couple going forward that the only reason we should be touching a barbell is probably to bench press, and everything else probably needs to be relying on accessories that do not load the spine until the body truly provides a green light to start working back in that area. But I think it's going to be some time. Going forward, I am going to schedule I'm going to call my doctor and try to get a schedule for MRI as soon as possible, honestly. That way we can establish a true plan going forward. But sorry to say, guys, I probably look like I'm dealing with it a lot better than I am. It's hard because I have to kind of keep myself emotionally detached from the training because obviously if I were super invested in this right now, it would be really beating me up. And I don't think I'd necessarily be able to hide that, even on the camera. So it is what it is. We will be back. I don't know when or how long it may be, but it will happen. It could be next year, but we will. And that's all I can really say. If you did make it this far in the video, although it is a short one, I very much do appreciate it.